We are joined by Dave Sheridan, who is in the new film, The Christmas Tapes, which also stars Greg Sestero. So, Dave, how did you get involved with The Christmas Tapes? Because this is kind of an outside the box anthology film, right? Because the way it's set up, it's like a home invasion in the first 15 minutes. And then we get all these tapes that make it seem like an anthology film. So when you were reading the script, how did that all kind of embody yourself while you were reading it? How did that kind of go in your mind?
It didn't because I never saw a script. So I don't know. There might have been an outline because my section was completely, for the most part, improvised. I
Oh,
think he
wow.
sent me a one-page outline of, you knock on the door, you enter the house, you go to the bell, you know what I mean? Stuff like
Right.
that. So uh I wasn't privy to any of the other stories or what the wraparound was or anything like that. I never really asked because it didn't involve me, since it was like they're really short films, so to
Right.
speak, with
Yeah.
the anthology. So only thing I got was an email with like a little Word doc, and I'm frankly I didn't have time to look at that either. So I just we shot like 7 hours from my house, so and I'm pretty busy, so it's just sort of like I knew we were improvising, which is what I do, and I was like, great, do you need anything from me, wardrobe or anything? No, we got it all handled. Great, I'll be up there and we'll start shooting. So
Right. And how long did the process take you guys to film your section? Was it just a quick day, or how did
yep,
your filming
one
go
day.
on the set?
Yeah, filming was great. It was like we probably started around 8 a.m. and we probably finished around 9 p.m. So it was one day, and we shot when you with and I believe that's how they did all of them, because I was on another Zoom with the actual directors, and the two directors, and for like the Australian premiere just yesterday, actually, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
Yeah. Sunday, like at 4:30 a.m. my time.
Right. Yeah.
On one of these. And but it was live at the audience at the premiere. So basically we shot in chronological order, but I think they shot all the other ones in chronological order, meaning like from in our film, from me, you know, knocking on the door and going into the house. We shot all that. Now, I don't know. I did see the short, and it opens up at night with them moving into the house and stuff like that the night before, or 2 nights before. I don't know if they shot that the night before. I believe we wrapped my stuff, and they probably reset and then shot some of their other stuff prior.
So, have you got
Uh,
a chance to watch the completed product yet of the Christmas tapes?
I've watched mine. I've watched
Okay.
my version, the Christmas Spirit short, but I haven't watched the whole thing. And there's a reason. I'm going to go up to the Sacramento premiere on Wednesday to see it, and I didn't want to.
Right.
If I wanted to see it. Apparently it's sold out, like the audience. Um, so it would be nice to see it for the first time in front of, especially the stuff I'm not involved with. I'd rather just see it like everyone else,
Right. So,
enjoy
you
it.
want to experience it with everybody else at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I did, and I would have done that with my own. But since I'm doing these press interviews, I
Right.
sort of have to
You
know
kind of
what.
had to. Right.
Yeah. Because again, AJ, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Since it's real, we really did improvise so much. I don't know what they kept in, what they kept out. And quite frankly, when I'm improvising, and you saw the short, uh, yeah, I'm blithering so much stuff. I'm just making stuff up that it's like I don't remember saying 90% of when I say something, I don't remember saying it, because part of improv is really just to let it stream out of you. Just try to tap into the character that you're playing and let that character just speak. If you're thinking, you're going to go way too slow. If if you're thinking, you're going to be inside your head and you're going to censor yourself. You're going to censor yourself from what you say. You're going to, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying is what I'm saying.
So it's like all in the heat of the moment stuff when you improvise. You really don't remember what you're going to say. You just kind of spew
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's probably improvisational actors that really have the ability to think ahead and to transform what they're going to say quicker. My brain doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's better just to let it stream out and let the editing. That's what I'm saying. Like in this film, I probably spewed out diarrhea, blither out of my mouth 50. And they did tell me, they go, we have enough to cut a whole feature film, but the feature film would not be a real feature film because there just wasn't enough storyline. But in terms of me going from each room and the stuff that I'm saying, we shot, because you do multiple takes too. And you never want to say the same thing, unless you screwed something up. It's like, okay, I need to say that again clean, right, about the cameras or something like that. So, but at the same time, it's more honest if you don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find that the Bob Ross happy accidents, first of all, you're going to find the stuff that streams, you're a conduit for the imagination, for the zeitgeist. But at the same time, especially since most improv is comedy based, I don't know a lot of people that improv drama. This one's good because it does have these moments. It has these darker moments, which are still improvised, but at the same time, most improvisational stuff is from the hip of comedy. And so in most comedy that is funny is the comedy that's honest, is sort of like just based on an honest level.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to hear that you improvised this segment, because you don't hear that a lot on horror films at all.
Right.
That it was improvised. So that had to be a unique experience as well, being this free to do something on set on a horror film that's not a horror comedy too.
Yeah. I mean, I especially more where it wasn't so much scripted. Like I did a movie in Virginia, not far from the Charlotte area. And it was actually Charlottesville, Virginia, and called Bloody Summer Camp. And it actually premiered in North Carolina but in Raleigh at the Fear Fest, North Carolina Fear Fest.
Oh yeah.
And in that, I improvised within the boundaries of the script and within the boundaries of my lines. So that was a scripted movie. I had lines. I was working with actors that did not want to improvise. They just wanted to say their lines. But I always improvise. So I developed a type of improvisation, which I probably am going to take to Second City and take to some schools and sort of teach it as a secondary improv for film, improv within film and within the script. Is I told the actors, I said, I'm going to give you the last line, because a lot of actors, especially like neophyte actors, they'll wait to hear that cue line. Well, he's got to say, okay, I'll be back. Don't lock the door, or whatever it is, right? They're waiting for that to say their line versus just listening, And so I said, okay, I'm going to blither. I'm going to go off to the right, come back to the left, come up the center. But I'm going to end my little vamp with your trigger line at the end, so that to talk, because these actors did not want to improvise. They just didn't trust themselves. They told me, they're like, oh, we know you improvise a lot. We're very nervous. And I said, don't be nervous. I don't think you need to improvise. If you know your lines and you're happy with your lines, then stick it. My situation is I actually can't memorize lines. I really have a hard time memorizing lines. I have a hard time reading in the first place with dyslexia and ADHD and all that stuff. But memorizing lines is very hard. It's almost like the same thing like with, I know there's those people that can hear a song on the radio and they'll have the song memorized. And when I have to perform songs, I had a band. I wrote the music. I wrote the lyrics, and I would still forget the hell out of them. You know what I mean? I'd have to before the show, have to try to relearn them or memorize them or write them down. I would write
Write them on like note cards or something.
I write them on big piece of paper on stage.
Right.
Normally in the band, when you play, you normally have your set list. I would have a set list, and I would have lyrics like posted all over the place. We worked it into the show though, because it was kind of funny. I probably, how like people at concerts still like hold up like John 3:16 or something like that. I should have just had fans holding up the cue cards. All right, hold up the Spring Break Forever. All right, I'm going to sing it now. So.
Right. And Dave, I also saw that Greg Sestero Pictures helped produce this film. So how was he as a producer? Was he involved when you guys were shooting your segment as well?
He was not involved. I mean, he wasn't on set. He was definitely involved as a producer. I never actually got a chance to talk with him though, because of Randy and Rob are the main directors and producers.
Right.
Greg, I believe, and I just found this out from that Zoom premiere in Australia. They did Infrared with Greg.
Yeah.
And he reprises his character from Infrared, Jeff. And he pitched them. He's the one that pitched them this idea. But Rob wanted to do Christmas themed stuff. But Greg pitched the idea of the home invasion with his character, Jeff, that has now a collection of all these found footage VHS films and stuff like that. And to be like sort of the kind of based on his character from Infrared. So it was kind of a cool, like, and that's one thing I would say about Rob and Randy, and the fact that I told you how much improvising I did. And you said, that's cool that they made it comfortable. And I never know what to expect. And the two things that they really did right, at least for me on my side, was they really were like, let it go. Let's see where this goes. And they were smart about that, meaning if I'm going up there, I drove 7 hours, I'm showing up on set and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to blither a bunch of stuff. The best thing to do is to say, let Dave Sheridan bring what he's done for 30 years into our house on a low budget film. Let him just go, and they did that because they knew, well, we can edit. Let's just take it's digital. It's found footage. It's cell phone cameras and stuff. Let's just roll. And we'll pick and choose and edit. And a lot of what you saw was really smart and great timing with the editing. You know what I'm saying? They knew what to come out, what to keep in.
The editing was very sharp in this film. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good editors. Randy, I believe, is the main editor. But film editing, especially with like found footage, is really
tough. Yeah.
Time. You don't want to lag on something too long. You want to be able to, so.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for joining me today, man. And
what is the name of your podcast? What is the name of this?
This is Infamous Horrors and Infamous Interviews.
All right. Hey, this is Dave Sheridan, and you're watching Infamous Horrors and Infamous Interviews. And I might be both. I just want to give you a little tag thing. You're still recording, right?
Yes, I am.
So, you're in Matthews. There's one called Mad Monster.
Yeah, I've been on the fence about going to those, but yeah, I do want to visit one day.
It's not that far from you, like, because
it's in Concord, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at like the
Embassy Suites Hotel.
Embassy Suites in Concord. So it's actually closer than, because it's not on the other side, on the airport.
Right, yeah.
It's on your side. Just shoot right up the thing, and you should go for sure. It's great. And what you should do is check the see who's appearing that year, and then bring up a hand recorder. And have you gone to conventions before?
No, not really.
You should. I mean, with a podcast, because I do the conventions, and so people with podcasts, they'll come, and if you got a moment, they'll come and just record an interview right at the table.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Well, what's good about that is it's a way for you to go then grab like, Kane Hodder or Robert England or whoever, so Skeet Ulrich or somebody that might be appearing that probably is the chances of them getting on Zoom in their underpants like I am right now. I hope you are.
I mean, I thought that
Wrong.
was the reason Zoom existed, to do this all in your underpants as well.
Exactly. Well, no, you have to work for like CNN News or something like that.
Right.
But yeah. So I so funny that it's cool that you're there. How's the weather, man?
Oh, it's getting cold around this time of year, but not too cold yet.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I live there and I built a home, in the Ballantyne area. So
Yeah.
the loop. I'm
Oh
right at
yeah.
I'm right at 6 o'clock. You're like at 5. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Because I
I'm
used
like,
to, you know where Ballantyne Commons is then, right?
yeah,
That area. I used to work at that Marshalls and Home Goods uh store right there for a while.
I've been there. That my wife worked at the so that's by the Target.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife worked at the Banana Republic right there.
Oh, cool. So I don't know if you heard about this, but a theater down near that area. Have you ever been to the Cinnabar Theater?
Cinnabar, yeah, that's that. Yes, that was up by the Gap. That was up at the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
one.
So that
It was
closed
kind of like
down.
an Alamo Draft House. It was kind of
Yeah.
like an Alamo Draft House. Yeah.
So that closed down a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised during COVID. I'm surprised it lasted then during COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the one thing, if you have any listeners there in North Carolina, it's so interesting. I live in California, and when I left California to move to North Carolina, okay, I'm going to try to get away from the taxes, and and it's going to be more of like a don't tread on me state and stuff like that. I got to be honest, I've been back to North Carolina several times, and I couldn't believe how more locked down it was, how restricted it was with the restaurant hours,
Oh
the
yeah.
staffing, that like you couldn't go anywhere after 9 p.m. I was like, what is going on here? Where believe it or not, California was actually very open outside of just its little LA area and probably San Francisco or something. But once you get out of those cities, it was like wide open. You know what I mean? So a lot of people bash on California. California, except for the cities, is mostly very free state. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not
Right.
gonna say a red state, but I'm gonna say like it's not what people think. It's unfortunate, like there's just the numbers. It's a matter of the voting numbers, but most of the state is very, wants to make America great, I would say, or believes America is great, because it is.
Right.
America is already great. So with that said, I love that thing. I used to go to that place like on Friday nights. They'd have bands there and stuff like that. In your shopping center,
Yeah.
I was right down the street. What road is that? 16? No,
That's like
Ray
right down the street from
Ray Road. Is
Ray
it on
Road.
Ray,
Yeah.
Ray Road? Yeah. So yeah, that's Cinnabar. No, that sucks. The
Yep.
building's still there though, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Why did you work there?
For a little bit. Yeah, I did for a few months.
I thought so. You might have worked there.
All right, Dave. Well, thank you so much. It's been really fun talking to you, and congratulations.
Yeah, can I say one thing? Are you recording still?
Yes, sir.
Do you edit this? Do you edit this?
Yeah.
I want to just tell everyone listening that my next one is currently on Indiegogo right now. It's called New Fear's Eve, and there's ways to be involved in that. We're shooting that in Owensboro, Kentucky, at the end of January, and we're raising funds. The one thing about Indiegogo that I truly like, I know a lot of other actors, or they look down at it, or they don't want to be involved with it, but I'm convinced it's the only pure independent way to make movies because you're independently funded by the fans who are pre-buying the Blu-rays and supporting with t-shirts or posters or signed stuff. At the end of the day, 90% of it is Blu-ray pre-sales. So all you're doing is there's enough people that are interested in this. They bought the Blu-ray. The good news is that the Blu-rays that are for sale on Indiegogo are first generation limited edition Blu-rays. They're not the same ones that when Lionsgate puts it out or Gravitas or whoever puts out this low budget horror thing, it's going to be different artwork. The cast signs it, and usually the actual movie's an extended version, because then when it gets sold to a distributor, they're going to cut it down. They're not going to put the extras on it and stuff like that. So the artwork is different. The credits are usually different. So it's really a unique Blu-ray that you get if you're into collecting, physical, media. So that's what I'm excited about it. But it is a great sort of like triangular, symbiotic relationship of the filmmaker wants to make a film that he wrote. He needs actors in it, but he's got to pay them, and he also needs money to make the film. The fans get to supply that money and support the filmmaker and the actors, and then the actors, like myself, get to work. So it's sort of like it really is a unique way, and like sort of a perfect triangle way to make independent movies, because the biggest problem with independent movies is the funding. And when you get outside funding from like an investor, all of a sudden now you have somebody else who's putting their hand on the creative process, who are not the creative person that the director and the actors are. And then there's a rush to get it out. When you do something like this, the director and the filmmaker get to go, hey, we can take our time. We can make it better than, because a lot of times when people go, oh, these low budget movies, they're usually kind of crappy. The biggest reason I found over doing these for like the last 10 years and being in the business for, 30 plus years is time and money. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have the money, you can't do it professionally quick enough. So therefore you need the time. But when there's outside investors, they don't give you the time. They're like, we need this now because we want to get our investment back. But they don't realize they're not going to get a good investment back because they're not letting the time. You know what I'm saying? So they put up 50 grand or 100 grand thinking that they're going to have some sort of Blair Witch project or something like that. It's not going to happen. You have to have the time to make it. Look at, I'm involved with the guys that do Terrifier and Terrifier 2. I'm in their next film called Stream. It'll be out next year, but we shot that 3 years ago and they're still working on it, right? Editing it and stuff like that, finishing it. And Terrifier 2 took them 4 years. I think that was shot in 2019, in the fall of 2019. I know for a fact it was. And so anyway, the bottom line is Damien Leone was given the chance because they independently funded that through Indiegogo. He, made it, he waited until he said, it's finished. This is what I want to put out. And then you look at the result. That was a giant hit worldwide. So.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love Terrifier 2 also.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's pretty neat.
Well, Dave, thank you so much and have a good day, bud.
Thank you, AJ.
And if you want to, you can send me the link of the Indiegogo and we will put it on Infamous Horrors for you as well.
Awesome. I'll text it to you.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Let's keep in touch too. I'd love to come back on.
All right. That would be awesome.
Thank you, man.
Hope
to see you soon in person at one of these events. Okay.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
All right. Thanks, AJ.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, America.